He wanted $20 million and Googled to kill for it. Now, before we start, I must warn you guys, this is a perpetual liar. This is Haobsh Pierre. For this video, I'll call him Mr. P. In 2016, Mr. P was living in Oceanside, California. He told everyone he was a billionaire tech genius and even had a Ferrari to prove it. So, okay, but how did he make his money? Mr. P claimed he had invented a perpetual energy machine that would change the world. The only problem, he had about $500 in his bank account and 0 science degrees. Now question, if you are sure that you have $1 billion, why are you going around showing people screenshots of your app? Because if I had $1 billion and I really had to prove it, I'm not showing you my phone. I'm buying the building we're standing in just so I can kick you out of it. In reality, Mr. P was a professional con artist. That Ferrari, yeah, it was leased with money he had already scammed from other people. The perpetual energy machine, it was basically a box of wires that did absolutely nothing. But Mr. P wasn't just a broke liar. He was desperate. And when a con man with a Ferrari runs out of money, things get out of hand. So he needed a new target, someone with actual money, someone who was kind enough to let a genius into their inner circle. And that's when he met the man who would change his life and end it, Dr. Henry Han. In Santa Barbara, Dr. Han was a literal celebrity. He ran the Santa Barbara Health Clinic, and he wasn't just a doctor. Some say he was a miracle worker. We're talking about a guy who had over 13,000 active patients. People would fly in from all over the world just because he could cure things that regular hospitals couldn't touch. He was the bridge between Eastern and Western medicine. But here's the thing about Dr. Han. He didn't act like a big shot doctor. Even though he was incredibly wealthy and lived on a massive 7-acre estate. Like, this man would still show up to work in shorts and flip-flops. He was humble, he was brilliant, and he had a heart of gold. Usually, in this kind of stories, when you hear someone has a heart of gold, it's a setup for something terrible. And yes, it is. Because being a nice guy is exactly what Mr. P was counting on. Dr. Han had this perfect life. He had a wife, Jenny Yu, who was his right hand at the clinic, and their beautiful daughter, Emily. She was 5 years old at the time of this incident and was soon to be 6. So Mr. P met Dr. Han through a mutual associate, and then he started talking a lot of sciencey nonsense about CBD molecules and his revolutionary energy source. Now, Mr. Han was a scientist, so he was really curious. He wanted to develop a new type of CBD medicine to help more people, you know, like I said, heart of gold. Mr. P saw this as his golden ticket, so he told the doctor he could help him build a skincare empire that will be worth millions. And because Dr. Han was such a trusting person, he made Mr. P a business partner. It was at such a time that Mr. P said that he needed a place to crash to save on commute time. Now, I want to mark this because we are going to come back to this later on. So, Mr. P is officially living in the guest room. He's got the keys to the house, he's got the Wi-Fi password, and he's acting like he's a part of the family. But while Dr. Han is a nice guy, his other business partners, Mark and Mara, they were not feeling the vibe with Mr. P. They looked at Mr. P and saw a guy who talked a lot of nonsense but couldn't actually explain how his machine worked. It was all boiling water and no soup. And then the first red flags turned into a giant burning billboard. The business partners noticed some weird changes in the company account. You see, Mr. P had been using Dr. Han's money for escort services. Now, Dr. Han confronted him, and you would think Mr. P would be embarrassed. No. Mr. P goes for the ultimate guilt trip. He looks Dr. Han dead in the eye and says, I'm sorry, I'm just struggling because, you know, I have terminal cancer. Yeah, this guy lied about having cancer to keep the scam going. And because Dr. Han was a literal saint, he didn't kick him out. He actually felt bad for Mr. P, and he gave the man another chance. He even signed a new contract with Mr. P. But while Dr. Ann was showing him mercy, Mr. P was working on a keylogger behind his back. For those of you who aren't tech nerds, a keylogger is a piece of software that records every single thing you type on your keyboard. Now, Mr. P installed it in the doctor's computer, meaning that every time Dr. Han logged into his bank accounts, checked his emails, or looked at his $20 million accounts, Mr. P was watching him from the guest room. But get this, it gets darker. I mean, like so much darker. Because while in Dr. Han's house, Mr. P was also searching the internet for ways to unalive the doctor. Yeah, his searches were what part of the skull was more penetrable, what ammunition would be better, how long do fingerprints take to process, how to clean up a crime scene. This guy was just a demon, and he didn't stop at Google. Mr. P went to Home Depot. There he bought huge rolls of plastic wrap and heavy-duty duct tapes and a whole lot of other items. I'm sure you guys have guessed where this is going. This man was planning a crime scene. In March 23, 2016, a Wednesday, to everyone else in Santa Barbara, it was just another beautiful night. But to the Hunt family, they were getting ready to celebrate Emily's 6th birthday. The presents were already wrapped, the cake was already ordered, but Mr. P, he isn't thinking about the birthday. He's thinking about the $20 million that belonged to the doctor. And while the whole world was asleep, Mr. P made his way to the doctor's house. He didn't need to knock. Remember, he had a key. He walked into that 7-acre estate, and get this, he did not come alone. He brought a .22 caliber pew-pew with a silencer attached to it. Mr. P went upstairs. First, he found Dr. Han in the master's bedroom, and there he fires him 3 times. Then he goes across the hall to 5-year-old Emily's room. Wait, hold on. Jenny, the mom, was also in the room with her. She had read a baby girl a bedtime story, and the two fell asleep together. Mr. P did not care. He did not hesitate. He pewed Jenny 3 times and then pewed 5-year-old Emily 8 times. 8 times. Bro, you don't do that to a 5-year-old 8 times unless you are literally a monster. This was pure, unadulterated evil. Now remember those Home Depot supplies. Mr. P spends the next few hours trying to clean his mess. He wrapped all the 3 bodies in plastic and duct tape. He dragged them into the garage and then he hides them behind the doctor's cars. Next, he began to clean the house of the mess he had made. And get this was where his genius started to fall apart. Because when the police would later do the investigation, they would notice the entire house smelled like a swimming pool because Mr. P dumped bleach everywhere to hide the blood. But somehow forgot to clear his browsing history. Next, he threw all the bloody sheets into the washing machine. But get this, he overloaded the machine, and that destroyed any plans of washing away obvious evidence. But there is no problem. After all, as much as Mr. P was aware, Mr. Ann was not expecting any visitors, at least not that day. So he was sure he still had time. Furthermore, he had time to use the key lock to get the passwords to steal the $20 million. So Mr. P left the house to go get a bigger truck to move the bodies. But then he forgot one thing, the business partners. Remember Mark and Mara? They had a meeting with Dr. Ann at 10 a.m. that day, and Dr. Ann, he was never late, or at least he would have called. So they got worried and thought to check on him. Meanwhile, Mr. P had already left the house. He had taken the doctor's wallet, phone, as well as Jenny's phone, and he was sure that by lunch he would be $20 million richer. But remember, Mr. P isn't a real genius. He's a guy who thinks he's in a die-hard movie, but is actually a very incompetent failure. First order of business, the money. Mr. P used the stolen passwords to try and transfer $72,000. Just a little starter pack for his new life. But the bank denied. The fraud department at Chase was like, wait a minute, Dr. Ann is suddenly sending $70,000 to a sketchy account at 6 a.m. Red flag. The transfer was blocked. And so he tried the credit cards, declined. Remember, this guy just unalived 3 people for $20 million and he couldn't even buy a pen with his newfound cash. This was the definition of a major L. Meanwhile, Mark and Mara had called the police and they had gone to Mr. Han's house. They had found the bodies of Mr. Han, his wife Jenny, and their little 6-year-old. Now, Mr. P gets word of this and he spirals. He gets paranoid. He knew the cops would track the family's cell phones with him. And so what does our tech prodigy do? Does he smash the phones? No. Does he throw them in the ocean? No. Instead, he wrapped the phones in aluminium foil. Oh Lord have mercy. He literally thought he could tin foil his way out of a GPS signal. But of course it does not work. The police were watching his digital footprints move down the coast in real time. Furthermore, the Home Depot footage was now on every TV station. And Mr. P, he was at a gas station wondering how he was going to get away with it all. And BAM! Suddenly the cops sweep in and they tackle him to the ground. He is caught. They find the murder weapon on him, Mr. Han's credit cards and the phones. Now you would think this is where the story ends. But no. Mr. P follows his lies till the very end. Regardless of all the evidence against him, he tells the detectives he didn't kill anybody and he was actually a hero. He said that he invented a perpetual energy source and 5 assassins from the Department of Energy were trying to kill him. You know, just a whole lot of bullcrap. As if the investigators did not see his search history or make further investigations about him. Regardless, the end was obvious. Dr. Henry Han had spent his life trying to heal people. Mr. P had spent his life trying to con people. In the end, an innocent man and his family died. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful who you let in your home, your life. Even if you have good intentions like Dr. Han did to help people, someone out there wants to take advantage of that good intention. Take your time, investigate. Trust me, the world would be a lot safer if we vetted people before we let them into our lives. Which brings me to this. Remember I said to take note of the conversation between Mr. P and Mr. Han. At the time, Mr. P said the words Mr. Han wanted to hear. Basically, he knew his target and he presented himself as this incredible guy. So much so that Mr. Han did not doubt when he heard a billionaire wanted to crash in his house. This is called the halo effect. Our brain judges a person based on one thing like charisma or the right words, forgetting that people are skeletons in their cupboards. Again, be careful out there. I want to hear from you guys. Was Mr. P just a sick man willing to unalive an 8-year-old, or was Mr. Han just too trusting? If you want more of this, please hit the subscribe button, follow, depending on the platform. Yeah. Okay, let's go work on the next story.